Hello everyone, welcome to the 2019 CAA Women's Basketball Media Day Show on FlowHoops.com. I'm Bobby Broyles along with Jamie Corrin, and over the next hour we're going to go around the league previewing team by team and looking at the storylines headlining into what should be another exciting season in CAA Women's Basketball.
That's right, Bobby. Welcome back, CAA Hoops fans. Yep. We have a great show for you today as we will hear from all 10 head coaches and selected student athletes as they give us a glimpse of what to expect here for the 2019-20 season.
Before we get started, it is time to officially release the 2019 CAA Women's Basketball preseason team and the predicted order of finish. Now we introduce to you the 2019 CAA Women's Basketball Preseason Player of the Year, James Madison Senior Guard Kamaya Smalls. Now here's the rest of the CAA Women's Basketball preseason first team. Nicole Inabosi, Delaware. Bailey Greenberg, Drexel. Kiana Jeter, Towson. Nakaya Mayo, Towson. Now here's a look at the CAA Women's Basketball preseason second team. Lexi Barrier, James Madison. Jackie Benitez, James Madison. Kayla Cooper-Williams, James Madison. Simone DeFries, Delaware. Gigi Smith, UNCW. And we wrap up with the CAA Women's Basketball preseason honorable mention honorees. James Madison was picked as a unanimous favorite to capture the CAA Women's Basketball title in 2019-20. The Dukes returned 4 All-CAA honorees from last season, including Preseason Player of the Year Kamaya Smalls, Kayla Cooper-Williams, Jackie Benitez, and Lexi Barrier. Drexel was picked second in the preseason poll. The Dragons will be led by the 2019 CAA Player of the Year, Bailey Greenberg, who comes into this year looking for more after reaching the CAA Championship game last season. Towson, which captured its first ever CAA title in 2018-19, was picked third in the poll. The Tigers will look to preseason All-CAA honorees Kiana Jeter and Nakaya Mayo to replicate that success this season. We are happy now to have the CAA Preseason Player of the Year, James Madison's Kamaya Smalls, along with head coach Sean O'Regan. Coach and Kamaya, thank you for taking time for us today. Coach, congratulations on being picked first in the preseason poll. What does that mean to receive this type of recognition for your program in a conference with so many great teams?
Yeah, I mean, it's always an honor. It's funny. I've been the head coach here for 4 years, and we've been picked first every time. So certainly not new, but I do think the league has gotten a lot better. So with that level of respect, especially with Towson winning the conference tournament last year, it certainly shows the respect the coaches have for us moving forward.
Kamaya, what does being named Preseason Player of the Year mean to you in a league full of great players?
It's always a big honor to be seen as one of the best that is playing in this league. Like you said, it's full of great players. But for me personally, I'm just focusing on my game and what I need to do to keep going up in the charts and stuff like that.
Coach, your team took a European tour back in August. Talk about how that strengthened the bonds within the team.
Yeah, it was great for us. Just spending time, obviously playing games with a little less pressure of the results. And, there's a bunch of competitors on my team, so we're not taking that very lightly. But I just think it was a really good opportunity. We let everybody play, pretty even minutes. We were trying to keep the minutes as even as possible. So I think that has really jump-started us. We're on practice, I guess, number 6 right now, and it feels like practice 15. Not to mention the 5 seniors, but we had those practices in August, so we're ahead of the game as far as knowledge and preparation so far. And it was great. It was great to spend some time with them, eating dinners or walking around or sitting on a boat and touring. So that those experiences I think will carry us come January, February.
And you, Kamaya, talk about how important that time was for your team as you get ready this season with a tough non-conference slate ahead.
I think it's great that we got a jump start in our team chemistry. Like he said, even outside of basketball, just being able to take tours and eat dinner with your team is very special and very important in building a good team chemistry. And I think that because we got that extra start on practices and putting our defense in maybe a little earlier than other teams, that just gave us, like he said, like an extra boost for practice number 5, making it feel like 15. So I think that we're doing a great job just intaking everything, and our freshmen are doing a good job at listening and reacting to things. And I think we're on the right track.
And speaking of the non-conference slate, Coach, talk about how your non-conference schedule prepares the team for success in CAA play.
Yeah, it's how we like it. I just think what we're trying to do here is and I've talked with Coach Dillon a lot about this, is that we're trying to bring this league back to a multiple bid league, and not just, feeling that we're 17-1 and we're 25-4 going into the tournament last year and unable to get the at-large bid with our loss. So, that's the goal. And so we got it as hard as we could get it, with Villanova, with Maryland at home. I think that's a big opportunity. So what we're trying to do is just create those opportunities. We got St. John's. We're at Georgetown, who we beat twice last year, so I know they're going to have their fist balled up for us. And then being able to go to Virginia's tournament, play Virginia, and UCF, who had a great run last year. So I'm really I always try to get that as tough as we can get it, so we're prepared for what I think is a very increasingly competitive CAA. So, hopefully we can see some of those opportunities, get some of those wins, and put ourselves in position to be in a conversation with or without the conference tournament title. But, that's the plan anyway.
Kamaya, what are some of your personal goals going into this season?
It's always number 1 to lead my team, of course, making sure that everybody's up and confident in their game and that we're all doing the same thing and are on the same page. For myself personally, I would love to bring back that Player of the Year award, of course, and just make a statement for myself and prove to a lot of people that I'm much more capable than I'm given credit for at certain times. And I'm hoping to give Coach O a Coach of the Year award too, and something that I feel like he rightfully deserves, and that if we follow what he's saying and take his guidance and really just listen and take it and do it the right way, everything will fall into place.
Coach Sean O'Regan and Kamaya Smalls, thank you again for joining us, and good luck this season.
Thank
you.
Before we preview our first team today, we want to bring in college basketball analysis and this year's CAA Women's Basketball Insider, Monica McNutt. Monica, thank you so much for joining us today, as I'm sure you are excited that the college basketball season is right around the corner.
Thanks for having me, Bobby. It is the most wonderful time of year. We're all pumped and excited and ready for the ball to get tipped up.
Absolutely. And Monica, you look at the preseason team and the predicted order of finish. What immediately sticks out to you?
Well, 2 teams kind of stood out to me, Bobby. And first would be Towson, and then the second would be Northeastern, slated at 3 and 6 respectively. Those are 2 teams that are coming off an impressive season last year. Now, granted, I know that Northeastern lost their 1,500-point score in Genco, but that's a group that I'm wondering if they can continue to turn the corner on what they were able to do in terms of history last year. And then Towson. Coach Diane Richardson, who I must admit, I don't know what word we want to use, was a high school coach when I was playing basketball in the Washington, D.C. area. So I have known her for years. I, for one, am not surprised by the turnaround that she's created with the Towson Tigers, but that's another one who I think, will this group take even another step under Richardson's leadership and considering what they were able to accomplish last year?
Of course, the season begins with the non-conference portion of the schedule. Who has the potential to make the biggest splash early on?
Listen, this one, Bobby, far and away would be the James Madison Dukes and Coach O'Regan. You look at that squad's non-conference schedule, they are not playing any games. They've got Georgetown. They've got Maryland. I mean, they're definitely knocking out the powers here in the local area. They go to Virginia for a holiday tournament. So if his team can get through this gauntlet and come out with some wins, quite honestly, you'll be looking at them receiving some major votes to get inside that top 25, assuming that those teams on those schedules stay healthy and are as good as they are predicted to be.
It was indeed a wild conference tournament at the end of last year. What do you think the league race will look like this season?
Well, I do agree with the poll and James Madison and Drexel being two programs that are well established in this conference. But I mentioned it. Towson, Hofstra, UNCW, Northeastern. I think the beauty of our conference is that each game gives you an opportunity to compete at a high level. James Madison, Drexel, they know that there's absolutely a target on their back, and rightfully so. We saw the mayhem last year during the conference tournament, and it was beautiful. So I'm expecting teams to compete night in and night out. I think obviously we'll all be tuning in a little bit closer when we get to February, but I mean, Hofstra and James Madison, you remember it, Bobby. This is why we love what we do.
That is right. Monica McNutt, thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to having your insight as our CAA Women's Basketball Insider throughout the year.
Thanks for having me, Bobby. I can't wait till we really get some games under our belt.
As we welcome back Jamie Corrin, it is time now to preview each team as we begin with the preseason favorites JMU. A historic season for the Dukes as this team was able to rebound from a tough early exit in the conference tournament and finish with a run to the WNIT semifinals.
That's right, Bobby. James Madison finished the 2018-19 campaign with a 29-6 record, tying the Dukes' record for wins. The Dukes went 17-1 in CAA play to earn the top seed at the CAA championship, but fell 57-50 in the quarterfinals to Hofstra. JMU earned a bid to the WNIT for the third straight year and reached the semifinals for the second time in program history and for the first time since 2012.
We spoke with Coach O'Regan, and this is what he had to say about the CAA Preseason Player of the Year, Kamaya Smalls.
I mean, she's been one of the more special players that I can remember in my 12 years here. Just because I think she's grown so much from her freshman year until now, and there's still a lot more room for growth. So for me, her leadership all summer, her leadership all last year, even her sophomore year, has been outstanding, but there's different levels to it. And I think she will absolutely take off with leadership, with kind of her aggressiveness, her hunger. So I think she's going to have a really, really special year, and I think that in turn will help us have a really, really special year. So, her leadership, it's really priceless for us at this time. Kayla has been wonderful too, leadership-wise, but those two together, I really think will help lead us to where we want to go, and obviously that's some pretty high expectations.
The Dukes do come in at the top spot of the CAA predicted order of finish, and rightfully so, Jamie, with all the talent that returns on this roster.
Yeah, absolutely. The Dukes return a host of talent from 2018-19, including 4 players who earned all CAA honors. Preseason Player of the Year Kamaya Smalls returns as the Dukes' leading scorer after averaging 15.9 points per game last season. Smalls suffered an injury late in the year, affecting the Dukes' CAA title hopes, but returned to help lead JMU to the WNIT semifinals. Kayla Cooper-Williams, who led the CAA in rebounding and blocks in 2018-19, returns as well alongside Jackie Benitez and Lexi Barrier.
Here is Kamaya Smalls on the team's postseason run and what she worked on this offseason.
During the offseason, I just focused on really building my game and improving my mid-range game, improving my three-point game, becoming more effective from the point guard spot, and just building a tougher mindset is what I would say mostly. it gave me a chance to really sit back and reflect on myself and the things that I can work on, not just with myself, but for my teammates to become successful in situations like that. And I'm just hoping that we can bounce back and just pick up where we left off, and hopefully with no injuries.
The JMU Dukes will tip off their 2019-20 season at home against Longwood on Wednesday night, November the 6th at 5 o'clock on flowhoops.com. Moving on to Drexel and today's CAA Women's Basketball Media Day show on flowhoops.com. Nothing new for the Dragons, Jamie, as once again they finish with another 20-plus win season and a trip to the WNIT, coming up just short in last year's CAA championship title game.
Yes, Drexel concluded the 2018-19 season with a 24-6 record and finished second in the CAA with a 14-4 mark. The Dragons, who earned a bid to the WNIT for the 5th straight year, boasted the nation's best scoring defense, allowing just 50.5 points per game. Drexel, which appeared in its 3rd CAA title game in the last 4 seasons, will certainly be looking to capitalize on the talent the Dragons bring back. Senior Bailey Greenberg, the 2019 CAA Player of the Year, returns as the leader of the Dragons and will look to bring the CAA title home to Philadelphia for the first time since 2009.
Here is Coach Dillon on what she expects from her returning leading scorer, Senior Bailey Greenberg.
Well, we're counting on Bailey to step up a notch in the leadership department. I think she did a tremendous job of doing a lot of everything for us in her junior season. But now with that experience and understanding that she's the one that teams are going to really zero in on, she has to understand how to help her teammates along the way as much as possible without losing sight of what she's capable of doing on the floor. I think using her experience to her advantage. At this point in your career, you really don't get much faster, quicker, stronger. So the experience really can outweigh a lot of those certain abilities on the floor. So we're counting on Bailey to be a strong leader for us, along with a large senior class helping her along the way, and just other players stepping up.
As we heard from Coach Dillon, teams will be keying on Bailey this season, and she'll need some assistance from her supporting cast.
Yeah, that's right, Bobby. Greenberg ranked 3rd in the CAA in both rebounding and scoring last season, averaging 17.2 points per game and 7.2 rebounds per game. She led the Dragons in scoring in 24 of 32 games and posted a career-high 31 points against UNCW. Senior Nikki Metzel returns as well, as does young talent in sophomores Mara Hendrickson, Kate Connolly, and 2019 CAA All-Rookie honoree Kishana Washington.
Here is Bailey Greenberg on what she thinks this year's team has to do to continue the recent success.
We will have to stay together, communicate, but mostly I think we all just need to relax and remember it's a fun game and this is why we all play it. We love it. So enjoy every second of it.
Drexel opens up the 2019-20 season on the road at Quinnipiac on Tuesday night, November the 5th at 6 o'clock. The defending CAA champions are due up, and what a memorable season it was for the Towson Tigers, Jamie, as they were able to capture the program's first ever CAA championship.
Like you said, Bobby, what a year it was. Towson made an incredible run at the 2019 CAA championship to capture its first CAA title with a 53-49 win over Drexel. The Tigers earned their first NCAA tournament bid in program history, and though they fell to number 2 seeded UConn in the first round, it still made for an incredible story. Towson won 20 games last season, more than doubling their win total from the previous season, and was the most since the 2007-08 campaign when they won 22. 2019 CAA Coach of the Year Diane Richardson will surely be looking to build on all that success this season.
Here is Coach Diane Richardson on what her team learned from last year's historic season that can be applied to this year's team.
Well, the first thing is understanding that when we changed the culture, it kind of changed our trajectory. And building on that, I know the girls are excited about it. They know they can win. They know that together we can accomplish anything.
This team has a lot of experience and talent coming back from this year, and that will be important as this team transitions from being the hunter to the hunted.
Yes, that's right, Bobby. Towson sees some of its top talent return to the court this season, including Kiana Jeter, Nukaya Mayo, and Q Murray. Mayo and Jeter formed the highest scoring tandem in the CAA last year, averaging a combined 31.6 points per game. Feeding them the rock was Murray, who broke Towson's single-season assist record with 147. Defensively, Jeter led the CAA in steals with 87.
We had a chance to speak with one of the veterans, Kiana Jeter, and her message to the team as they get ready to defend the conference crown.
Buy into everything that's been given to us and play together. We got to get after it. We won the CAA last year, so we can't have a drop down this year.
The defending champs begin their 2019-20 season at home on Tuesday, November the 5th at 4 o'clock as the Tigers host Penn State on flowhoops.com. It is now time to preview our fourth team for today as we take a look at Delaware. A winning season for the Blue Hens in Natasha Adair's second season as this team had to battle a lot of adversity early on.
Yeah, there certainly was some adversity for the Blue Hens. The 2018-19 season began with terrible news for Delaware when they found out that Nicole Enabosi, the 2018 Player of the Year, would have to sit out the entire season due to injury. That didn't stall Natasha Adair and the Blue Hens, though, as they still captured 11 wins in CAA play to earn the number 5 seed at the CAA Championship, and they also tallied at least 15 wins for the 11th straight season.
Here is head coach Natasha Adair on what we can expect in her third year at the helm for the Blue Hens.
From the time I stepped on campus, it was to win. Now, within that, what does that mean? It means to be better. It means to continue to display what Delaware basketball means not only to us, but to our community, to our university, to the CAA, to the nation. And so going into year 3 with this veteran group of seniors, the best part of it is I don't have to say as much. They know the standards of this program. They know it's about the consistency, the competitiveness, the work ethic, the discipline, doing it together. You know, our motto is own it, and it's about just taking ownership in everything that we do. So every night when that ball is tipped, there is no question that we are going to put ourselves in a position to win.
Like we said already, the Blue Hens were delivered a blow early on, losing Nicole Enabosi for the season, but she comes back along with a lot of other veterans.
Yes, she does. The Blue Hens will be ecstatic to have a player like Nicole Enabosi back on the floor. Enabosi led the CAA in scoring and rebounding during the 2017-18 season, averaging 18 points and 11.8 rebounds per game. She was also a standout defensively, ranking in the top 5 in the league in steals and blocks. She joins All-CAA honoree Simone DeFries and All-Rookie honoree Jasmine Dickey as the Blue Hens look for more in 2019-20.
Here is Nicole Enabosi on her long-awaited return to the court.
I'm really excited. I haven't played for such a long time, so just the feelings are starting to come back to me, the movements and the plays, and being able to play with my teammates that I've missed so much is just a great feeling, so I'm excited.
The Blue Hens will be in the friendly confines of the Bob Carpenter Center to start the 2019-20 season as Maine comes to Newark for a 2 o'clock tip on Friday, November the 8th on flowhoops.com. UNCW is now up on the 2019 CAA Women's Basketball Media Day show right here on flowhoops.com. The Seahawks dramatically improved in year 2 under Karen Barefoot. Can we expect this team to make another step this season?
I would say so, Bobby. UNCW had a historical season of its own last year, in which it earned the number 3 seed to the CAA Championship for the first time since 2011. The Seahawks finished the season with an 18-12 record, including an 11-7 mark in CAA play, marking the first winning season for the Seahawks since 2012. The Seahawks will look to continue their strong play at home in Trask Coliseum, where head coach Karen Barefoot led her team to a 13-1 record, including 12 straight wins.
Here is UNCW head coach Karen Barefoot on what we can expect from her team this upcoming season.
We have a lot of goals. I think every goal every day is to get better. I think that this is a very talented group with great leadership. We have 2 players returning from all-conference team, Gianna Smith and Lacey Suggs, and They know coming in this year that they have a lot to do, but I think the team has really stepped up where, we're a team that everybody can give something on defense, can get after it, and we have a lot of players that can score the basketball. So that takes pressure off of them. I mean, for me, I just want a team that's going to commit to just doing the little things every day. And I think for our first morning practice, we really got better. We attacked 5-on-5, and I saw a lot of positive things. So that just shows me that they've really worked hard this offseason to get where we are today.
The Seahawks return a lot of familiar faces this season, especially at the guard positions.
Yes, the guard play of Gigi Smith and Lacey Suggs was crucial to the Seahawks' success last season, and both seniors returned to pick up where they left off. Smith, who earned second-team All-CAA honors, reached double-figure scoring in 28 of UNCW's 30 games and ranked 8th in the CAA with 14.9 points per game. Also an All-CAA honoree, Suggs averaged just over 10 points per game to complement Smith on the Seahawk offense. Senior Shaniri Bell also returns after leading UNCW in rebounding last season when she averaged 5.3 rebounds per game.
Here is one of those guards you spoke of as Gigi Smith shares her message to the team early on in the preseason.
I think my biggest message, I've been saying this for like the past 3 days, I just want everyone to be confident. I can get on you about what you're not doing or what you are doing or everything, but I just think confidence is the biggest thing you can give the girl standing next to you. And we're a huge team this year. I mean, it's 17 of us total. So to have a team full of 17 girls with confidence, I mean, that's unstoppable in my eyes.
The Seahawks will be at ACC opponent Wake Forest to begin their season on Tuesday, November the 5th at 7 o'clock. Moving on to Northeastern on today's CAA Women's Basketball Media Day show on FlowHoops.com. A great season for the Huskies as they eclipsed the 20-win plateau in 2018-19. They came up just short of reaching the CAA championship game, but were rewarded with a berth to the WNIT.
That's right, Bobby. Northeastern earned its first ever bid to the WNIT after falling to Drexel in overtime in the CAA championship semifinals. The Huskies also won 20 games for just the third time in program history, finishing 2012 and 9-9 in CAA play. A big part of the Huskies' success was the play of Jess Janko, who graduated in the spring. Janko led the CAA in scoring last year and was a staple on the Husky offense during her career. She finished third in Northeastern history with 1,567 career points and set the record for minutes, assists, and three-point field goals made. Head coach Kelly Cole is losing a lot in Janko, but the Huskies will be looking to build on that success from last season.
Here is Northeastern head coach Kelly Cole on replacing Jess Janko.
I think losing Jess this year will certainly change the look of things a little bit. I don't think it's going to change anything on the floor. We run a system. We're all about team. I think the best thing that we can hope for is that every single year we bring kids in, we send kids out, and it doesn't change who we are or how we play or the results at the end of the day. Certainly we'll miss her, but I don't think it's going to change anything in what you see as far as who the Huskies are.
One of those players that Coach Cole will be looking to this season will be Shannon Todd.
Yes, with Jess Janko graduated, senior guard Shannon Todd will be leading the offense this season. She returns as the Huskies' leading returning scorer from last season when she averaged 11.4 points per game. Fans will also want to keep an eye on Ayanna Dublin, who ranked in the top 12 in the CAA with 5.6 rebounds per game. Sophomore Kendall Current scored 5.7 points per game off the bench last season, and we'll see if she can build on that.
Here is Shannon Todd on what she worked on this offseason and her expectations for the Huskies this season.
I think that I've definitely become a lot more confident on and off the court. Every year I feel like I've improved my game, and I think that's going to really help me this season. And I think also my leadership, I've learned a lot from my previous senior captains, Jess Janko and Gabby Giacone. And even Ayanna Dublin being a captain last year, I've really learned a lot from her. And we definitely have really high expectations for this season. I'm really excited, and I think that everyone on my team is bought in, and we're all ready to go for the gold.
Northeastern opens up the 2019-20 season at home on Tuesday afternoon, November the 5th at 12 noon versus South Dakota on FlowHoops.com. William & Mary is now up on today's show. A tough season for the Tribe, but Ed Swanson's team will look to bounce back in 2019-20 as some of those younger players will have a year of experience under their belt.
That's right. William & Mary closed out last season with a 15-16 record and a 7-11 mark in CAA play. But there were some bright spots for the Tribe. Bianca Boggs closed out her career by becoming the first player in William & Mary history with 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, and 300 assists. She also set the Tribe's single-season scoring record with 530 points. The Tribe will miss Boggs' output, but they are positioned for success as CAA Rookie of the Year Eva Hodgson and senior Victoria Reynolds return to fill the role as the team's leaders.
We caught up with head coach Ed Swanson on the team's goals and expectations heading into this season.
Well, my goals for this season, obviously, I guess it sounds a little cliche-ish, but I want to improve week to week. I think if this team can take as major a jump as it has from the end of last year till right now, then I think our goals will change come the end of the year. I think February and March, I think we could find this team competing in the hunt for a championship.
As Coach Swanson mentioned, one of those players that will look to take this William & Mary program to the next level will be senior Victoria Reynolds.
Yes, Victoria Reynolds was a force on both ends of the court for the Tribe last season, averaging 10.9 points and 5.3 rebounds per game, while also tallying 40 steals and 21 blocks. Teams will also be on the lookout for sophomore Eva Hodgson, who had a breakout freshman campaign in which she averaged 10.2 points per game and recorded 10-plus points in 16 games.
Here is Victoria Reynolds letting us know how she has grown as a player and what we can expect from the Tribe this season.
I've grown as a player by stepping into more of a leadership role. I'm typically quiet and to myself, and that's an area that the coaches have challenged me to get out of by stepping outside of my comfort zone. And my expectations for this season is for the team to take that next step. We've been working hard and we know what we have to do. Now it's just a matter of putting everything together.
William & Mary opens up the 2019-20 season on the road at Army on Tuesday night, November the 5th at 7 o'clock. Now we take a look at Elon and Jamie. It was a tough season for one of the youngest teams in the country last year as they enter another season without a senior on the roster.
Yeah, crazy, Bobby. After winning the CAA title in 2 consecutive years, last year was a little bit of a letdown for head coach Charlotte Smith and the Phoenix. Elon finished the season with a 9-21 record and were knocked out of the CAA tournament in the first round. Elon does return 2018 CAA Defensive Player of the Year, junior Jada Graves, after she was sidelined due to injury last season. Sophomore Bree Perpignan also returns after a strong freshman season, highlighting that although this team is young, they do have the experience needed to compete this year.
Yep. Here is Coach Charlotte Smith on what changes her team has made in the offseason to get the program back on track.
Well, some of the changes have pretty much taken care of themselves. You know, youth, I call that the year of undergoing tough hardships. And just another year of experience will help with a lot of that. And I think that has instilled confidence in that freshman class. And, okay, we've been part of this program for a year. We know what the expectations are. And so we come back a little bit more knowledgeable. And then also, you know, not only did we have to deal with youth, but we had to deal with a lot of injuries and the lack of being a healthy team. We lost Jada Graves at the beginning of the season last year. Sadia Mumford was not, you know, her full self. And then Lexi Mercer was battling back injuries all year. So, you know, I feel like we're in a better place in terms of health and a better place in terms of being a little bit more experienced. So we're looking forward to a great year this season.
Elon was already a young team last year, but they also lost one of their veterans, Jada Graves, most of the season.
Yes, Jada Graves returns and should provide an immediate spark to the Phoenix. She averaged 6.5 points per game and ranked second in the CAA in steals in 2017-18, earning her CAA All-Defensive Team that season. Bree Perpignan averaged 8.9 points per game in her freshman year, while junior Jalen Powell returns as Phoenix's sharpshooter, as she shot 43% from beyond the arc last year to lead the CAA, and she also averaged 7.5 points per game.
Here is Jada Graves on what we can expect from her returning to the court.
I think the fans can expect a championship. I think
Nobody has ever cut their own nets down in a tournament, and that's a big goal for us.
Elon will begin their 2019-20 season at home versus Western Carolina on Saturday night, November the 9th at 7:30 on flowhoops.com. Two teams remain on today's CAA Women's Basketball Media Day show on flowhoops.com. Time to take a look at Hofstra. And Jamie, this Pride team enters the season with the new head coach in Danielle Santos-Atkinson and with a lot of momentum after the team pulled off a huge upset over JMU in the quarterfinals.
Yes, we know Danielle Santos-Atkinson is excited to return to Hofstra after serving as an assistant from 2006 to 2010. And she will be hoping to ride the momentum from last season in her first year as head coach of the Pride. Hofstra had a tough year, finishing 11-22 overall and 3-15 in the CAA. Despite their regular season struggles, the Pride entered the CAA championship with a clean slate and took down Elon in the first round, and then knocked off top-seeded JMU in the quarterfinals. It marked the first time a number 1 seed had fallen in the quarterfinals in CAA championship history. Boogie Brzezowski had quite the game against Elon, scoring 42 points to set the CAA tournament record.
Here is Hofstra's new head coach, Danielle Santos-Atkinson, on her expectations for the Pride in her first year at the helm.
My goals for the Pride this season is for us to compete every single game, every single time we step on the floor, for us to be competitive. We want to improve on the season from last year. They had a great run towards the end of the year, so how do we improve on that? How do we start the year out with that momentum and the things that they learned coming off last year? I also have an expectation that we're going to work hard every day, that we're going to be disciplined in what we do, and that we're going to give an honest effort.
The Pride only had 2 seniors a year ago, but will need to look to replace the scoring production of a Boogie Brzezowski.
Yes, it's going to be tough to replace a scorer like Boogie, but the Pride returned 3 strong upperclassmen in junior Anna Hernandez-Heel and seniors Marion Kalin and Alexis Davis. Hernandez-Heel returns as the Pride's leading returning scorer, as she averaged nearly 9 points per game. Kalin averaged 6.7 points a game and 5.2 rebounds. Davis will be looking to close out her career with a strong senior season after missing the end of last year due to an injury.
Here is one of those players who will be looking to step up, as Alexis Davis took time to share how she has grown as a player this offseason.
I have grown as a player in so many different ways. Like, my game, I feel overall has expanded, especially like throughout this 4 years of being here. Like, on the court, I'm more like in tune, like be able to like read certain defense and like know when to switch, like with an offense or something, what we're doing. Just being able to like read certain players, also like my players, like my teammates and stuff, like helping them to like achieve their goals, but also achieving mine at the same time.
Hofstra will begin their 2019-20 season on the road at Hartford Wednesday night, November the 6th at 7 o'clock. Last but not least, taking a look at College of Charleston to conclude the 2019 CAA Women's Basketball Media Day show. The Cougars struggled in 2018-19 and will turn to a new head coach this season in Robin Harmony.
Yes, we will see a new face as Robin Harmony takes the reins of the Cougars, following a 6-year stint as the head coach at Lamar University, where she posted a 115-66 record and an 83-25 mark in the Southland. Harmony will be looking to turn around a Charleston team that has struggled in recent years, including last season when the Cougars went 7-23 and 3-15 against CAA competition.
We caught up with new head coach Robin Harmony as she shared her expectations in year 1 with the Cougars.
Well, I mean, we want to make sure that we compete and that we end up putting a statement in what we're doing at College of Charleston, where we know that we're in last place. We only won 7 games last year, and we have to fix that by every day working hard in practice, getting better, kind of working through adversity, making this team tough so we can be competitive. And that's, you know, really where we want to do is we don't want people to know that they can just come in our gym and beat us at any time. So we want to be competitive, be tough, be mentally tough, and, you know, just improve.
College of Charleston will be looking to a player like senior Deja Ford as this program transitions in Robin Harmony's first year.
Yes, senior Deja Ford will be the linchpin for Robin Harmony's offense this year, after averaging 12.2 points per game last season, while also averaging 4.4 rebounds a game. Sophomore Erin Eady returns alongside Ford after completing a strong freshman season that saw her rank in the top 10 in rebounds in the CAA. Fellow sophomore Tyler Collins also returns and after ranking 3rd in the CAA last year in assists.
Here is Deja Ford on things she looked to change this offseason and what she expects from herself this season.
I've grown as a player by being more mature. I think I take more things serious and I pay more attention to detail. My expectations for the season is just doing the best I can to help my team get W's.
The Cougars open their season at home on Wednesday, November the 6th versus George Mason right here on FlowHoops.com. That completes the 2019 CAA Women's Basketball Media Day show. If you missed any of the team previews, you can watch today's show right here on FlowHoops.com or on the CAA's YouTube page.
And also, don't forget, fans, you can also follow the league today and throughout the season on many of our social media outlets, such as Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat by searching CAA Sports, or find us on Twitter at CAA Basketball and make sure to use that hashtag CAA Hoops.
CAA Women's Basketball Media Day isn't over yet. Coming up this afternoon at 2 o'clock, log on to CAA.tv and listen in on the CAA Women's Basketball Media Day teleconference as members of the media will have their opportunities to ask questions to the coaches and student athletes to get their perspective on the upcoming 2019-20 season.
Yes, and fans, you can also participate as well. Send in your questions to Twitter at CAA Basketball. And once again, remember to use that hashtag CAA Hoops, and you might hear your question answered on the air.
That is it from us here on FlowHoops.com. Thank you, fans, for tuning in, and we look forward to the start of the 2019-20 season. For Jamie Corrin, I'm Bobby Broyles. Have a great day, everyone.